slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains that last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
I wake up every minute with a fever dreams. I push a mind to a limit where it needs to be. I work blind, got vision I don't need to see. I'm picking mind over matter, I believe in me. I need to find more hours in the day to breathe. Need to find more power in the way I be. And when my mind turns sour with the painful scenes, I need to scream out loud, I can't stop me. I wanna be the greatest like Rocky. You know I leave them all hating like a hobby. I'm out here making moves like a lobby. And if you ain't with me, it's your loss, see. I got my mind on the facts, I'm a python, grab what I like real fast. So until I have everything I attack, everything that I lack, everything that I want, and I see, matter of fact.
Cause I'm my own worst enemy. Only if I let it be. I can control anything if I can just think carefully. I control my destiny. Deep up in my mind I manifest it. Every morning I wake up obsessed, and everything I do the best. And deep within my mind, you know I'll always manifest it.
Good morning. It's Friday. Hey guys. I know there's only a few of you in here because this is way earlier than I'm used to going live. K-Mash, hey. Yes, I am anxious for today's verdict. Good morning, guys. Thank you. Good morning, Kate the Great. Okay, so I just wanted to jump on here really quick and do a live to correct a few things I seen on Pascal. I like Pascal. Hold on. I do. I really do like Pascal. But there were a few things he said that was kind of contradicting or that he just didn't understand. And I wanted to go over those things right now. Let's see. I took screenshots of the timestamps. It's just easier that way. Okay. So 20. We'll start it at 19. Good morning. Good morning, Grandma Sherry. Punky, I agree. I agree with that. All right, let's listen.
This monster was out, and they let it be. Now, there's some other questions that were asked that really did pop up and make me wonder some questions too. And before we go into this video, okay, there's just a few things because I'm going to pull up this video here. But I do have a couple. I got questiones. I do. Okay. I got some questiones.
Some questiones.
Major questiones. And the reason why I got some questions is well, one, last I saw, when you go and rent, because from my understanding, he was renting that private property. When you rent that property, aren't they doing a thorough background check on you to find out exactly who you are and who's taking over as a resident of their property, of their land? Don't they do a thorough check on that? That's number one. Number two is
Okay. Let me see. I'm going through my screenshots, guys. Just bear with me. All right. Yes, they usually do background checks into whoever is renting the property, right? I mean, that's what they do. So let's put some up. Okay. So let's go back to here. This is why he wasn't known to be on the property. I mean, it was Holly Guess. So the wife, it was the wife who the lease was under, or the rental agreement was under. It was not Jesse. So that answers that question right there, Pascal. Like, yes, they do look up people. No, he was not on there. It was under Holly Guess's name. Okay. So that was just one little quick, like, fixer upper, right? Let's just fix that one right there, because he said he was confused on it. So just thought I'd clear that part up. Now, let me get the next screenshot, which is 1 hour. Which he's covering a lot of stuff, but he's mainly going off of Ashley Banfield. And I haven't heard Ashley Banfield cover the rental agreement and how he wasn't known to have been there. So that could be why he has no idea anything about the rental agreement.
But a deadbolt lock on the outside, keeping someone in potentially. Now I have video that we had not seen before of the girls' bedroom.
Here we go.
That was something that made us very uncomfortable, because now knowing what the other rooms look like, this looked as though it was a regular teenage bedroom. It's just confounding to know that feet away are sex toys and weapons and drugs and syringes.
Well, I don't know. My house isn't very big, so I'm gonna say, like, maybe, I don't know feet. Maybe 100 feet away. Let's just go with that. We have our own stuff in a drawer locked up. in our room. So I don't know, that bugged me a little bit because, like, no, we don't, and we do have weapons. We have guns, pew pews, um, locked up in the same room. So I don't know. I don't see it so crazy that there would be SEX toys and stuff like that in the parents' room.
Hinges and restraints, chains, padlocks to the floor, to the walls. There's clothes in the closet for teenage girls. There's bedding that's still there. Nobody decided that maybe any DNA might be on that bedding that could be tested. Clouds on the ceilings, just like a normal teenager would have. Posters on the walls, toys, clothing. How long had this house been a torture chamber and a sex dungeon? And how long had it been?
Now, how does she know? And see, when she keeps saying that, that bugs me. How does she know this was a torture chamber and a sex dungeon?
Teenage girls and a teenage boy living there with their mom and their stepdad.
Okay. So I look at that and I go, well, maybe they weren't messed with. Maybe they weren't. Or maybe they were gifted with this room.
This is a reach for me, in my opinion. This is his opinion. This is his speculation, but I just wanted to cover it because I don't agree with it. I don't think that should even be said because we don't know. Gift? This was a gift? No, their room was normal because they were normal teens.
When they were good kids. And then when they weren't good kids, they were back to being punished. I don't know, because
speculation, baby.
It just seems weird that within all that, you see all the chains and the things screwed in the floorboards and in the walls, on the counter of the kitchen, all those things. Why would all those things be out there on display for everyone to see?
Because I don't think they were out there on display for everyone to see. I agree with cocktail dress. It seems it was only a SEX and torture dungeon this one weekend. I don't think these kids lived amongst chains and stuff like that. I just don't see that being the case since the chains and locks and everything was bought the Friday before they were unalived. So, and there's receipt of that. There's proof of that. So that just automatically, what he's saying right here is, how would they live amongst all of that? Well, they probably didn't. They probably didn't. That stuff was probably put in that weekend. He knew what he was going to do. He planned it out. He did it.
Then you have a room that is untouched from what we see here. I mean, maybe they haven't dug into it. There could be chains behind these headboards and all that stuff too. There could be some stuff.
I like Banfield, Punky. I like the old Banfield. The Banfield in the past year has just become exaggerated.
That we haven't seen yet. But in my mind, I'm going, either they weren't messed with, or this was their reward when they were good kids. But when they were bad, they were being terrorized.
See, we have no proof of that. We have no proof of that. From what I've seen on social media, the kids seem perfectly happy and healthy, honestly.
Right? Chained up and everything. I mean, that's the only other thing I could think of. But
that's just a wild speculation to be putting out there. Of course, our brains run wild. We just have to remember or try to filter out what we put out to our audiences, because it can be very irresponsible to put out some outlandish speculation.
And I keep wondering, there was a boy too. Okay. Hold on. I'm just bringing up their name or their faces. But there was Michael in the house too. Where was Michael's room? Where did he stay? Okay. You still had the two girls, Tiffany and Riley. Obviously, they were sharing a room. Where did the boys stay?
Well, we know where the boys stayed. I'm not going to pull it up because it's just going to be a hassle. But in the first video of the walkthrough of the house with Ivy's dad and the news crews, they showed the teenage boys' room. It's also just a normal teenage boys' room. So this just, again, it goes to show he's only knowing what Banfield is talking about. And Pascal must not have been paying attention to that first video enough, because it would be, I get it. I get it. I've watched the damn thing like 10 times. That's the only reason. But the first few times you watch it, you ain't even focusing on the bedrooms, not on the kid room. You seen that kid room and it was just right out of your mind because you were being shown chains and locks and sex toys and drugs, and so your brain automatically isn't thinking about that kid's room that they just showed for a split second. But that's why I'm here to correct that, and I'm here to tell you, yes, the son had a room. It was a normal room, as in the first video walkthrough with Ivy Webster's dad.
What about him? Again. What about Michael?
Michael had a room. So see, he's making it a little extra. He's being a little extra emotional with this and dramatic. Michael had a room.
Was he just terrorized the entire time because he was a boy? He was always in the wrong? Where is the boy?
I love Pascal. No, I didn't say he was stating those as fact. His first question was about the rental agreement. Okay, well, that has been answered. The second question is about Michael's bedroom. That's what I'm doing here. I'm answering it. I'm telling him where he can find it, whether he sees this, hears this, somebody shares it, or what. The son's, but it's actually shown in this clip a little later, and he doesn't acknowledge it. I don't know if he just wasn't paying attention or what, but it is shown later in this clip.
Boy's bedroom. That's one thing we haven't seen yet.
But we have. That was one of the first video evidence we seen, right? So I'm not saying that Pascal is being irresponsible. I'm saying that he needs to be careful with his questions and speculations, because he's putting a lot out there that's on his brain, and it's like, damn, it's already traumatic and tragic enough. Why are you making it 100 times worse? Like, stick to what we know, right?
As you can see, those rooms are very interesting, right? That's some very interesting stuff. I keep wondering what the heck is going on here.
They're normal kids.
Okay. And I keep wondering that too, Nicole, like maybe the bed in the living room, but the living room.
Here she comes. She's coming in hot in just a second. Just wait.
I mean, I guess it doesn't matter what kind of bed sheets.
They're talking about the mattress in the living room.
We're on the bed in the living room, because let's keep it real. It's a bed on the floor, right? I guess, it doesn't matter at that point, but that's something very, very interesting. Crystal, thank you so much for the $1 super sticker. I do appreciate that. Thank you so very, very much. But that's something I'm curious about, right? You see this room, and it's very like any other girl's bedroom, very girly, all that stuff, untouched from the naked eye, from what we see here, untouched from the paraphernalia, from the chains, the etc. But the rest of the house is covered in chains and very horrifying things. The other thing, too, I want to say, too, you're telling me you got girls coming over and they're seeing this stuff out there like that?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Not if the stuff was put up that weekend. We need to remember that. We don't know when this stuff was installed. We don't know when he pulled out the SEX toys and just left them sitting around. We don't know when he brought out the drugs. It doesn't mean that it was just sat there their whole time living there. We don't know that.
One on the kitchen counter. It's one thing if they're in like bedrooms, stuffed away in bedrooms, but the fact that you have it right there on the kitchen counter.
Good morning, guys.
For everyone to see shows you, let's be real, shows that you are up to no good.
It does show you're up to no good, but who's to say it was seen for any period of time before the weekend it happened?
Shows that there's something up. Clearly.
Here she
Very
comes.
weird. Asilla, thank you so much for the $2 super sticker. I do appreciate that. That's weird, right?
Look at our little hippie. Look at her. Follow the grain. They were having a slumber party. It's likely an air mattress. She come in with some common sense, girl. Yes. Yes. That mattress was probably on the living room floor because they were having a sleepover. Yes, hunty. Now, is that why it was there? We don't know. What if it was permanently a mattress there? We don't know. But it's not crazy to think that it was there because there was a slumber party going on, right? So look at our little hippie coming in clutch, correcting something, giving him another option for why that air mattress was there, giving him a common sense option for why that mattress was there. I love that. Yes, hippie. Grain for the win.
Follow the grain. Yep, you're right. That could be it too. They were having a slumber party. It's likely an air mattress. Yep, that could.
There he goes. He acknowledges it. Bet. I'm glad that he acknowledges the stuff that makes sense. The stuff that seems like common sense, right? But that's a shout out to follow the grain. Girl, do the damn thing. Spreading awareness, making things right. Yes, girl. Beat Tim, the look on. Hey, Beat Tim, the look on Pascal's face is kind of priceless. I like Pascal. He needs to be careful with his speculation on this case, especially.
Could be it too as well. Follow the grain could be absolutely correct on that too.
Yeah, but that's not as interesting, is it? That's not as interesting to talk about. Okay, let's see. The next one is 114.
Is it such a far conclusion?
No.
They were left behind. No one checked. And
Oh, well, hold on.
then the white car outside the house. The white car that, vanished the day after the police were there. Here's a close-up. The families looked inside to get a peek at what was in that car. Word is now it was Holly's car, possibly taken by her mom, Jan. But shouldn't the police have this impounded?
Look at her purse in there. He does. And that's why I'm just hoping he reels it in a little.
Be taking every single piece of trace evidence out of there.
Look at that. That's her purse and
Maybe
everything.
there was someone in the trunk at some point. Maybe Holly was a perpetrator. Maybe her husband, Jesse, used her car to kidnap kids. Maybe is a big word here.
Let me just say this. I understand that it's she's saying maybe to be fair and all that, but I'm gonna tell you guys something. Holly had a lot to do with this too.
Oh, Lord. We don't know that. We don't know that. If you believe all the rumors and the unconfirmed evidence and everything, even the confirmed evidence, such as the ledger that was supposedly in Holly's writing, that was made up. That was made up. And if you believe stuff like that, without fact checking, then yeah, you probably would be led to say, oh yeah, Holly for sure had a lot to do with this. But he's stating it as a fact right here, guys. It is what it is. And I think Holly knew of certain things, but not necessarily everything that we're seeing as outsiders going through a crime scene.
There's no way you could sit here, live through a house full of chains, for lack of a better term, and all the other mucky muck, and just not know.
Who says she lived through all that? Who says she lived through all that? Who said that all that was out there in the open like that? Who said that all of that was, even there before this weekend, that they were unalived? We don't know.
And just play dumb. Okay, all that stuff was out there. What? Oh yeah, the chains that were screwed into the walls and stuff. That's an artistic choice.
No, it was probably a predator choice that weekend.
That's just there. Really brings the room together. Are you kidding me? Especially those padlocks. Really brings the room together. Don't you think, Holly? Look at our home.
That was bought the weekend before, or the same weekend, the Friday before the murders.
Isn't it beautiful? With all these chains, really brings everything, makes it feel like home. No, it's not. So, as far as we could sit here all day long and try to justify, oh, Holly, such and such was, didn't know anything, blah, blah, blah. She knew quickly. She knew quickly. And had to have been cool with this to some extent. Because you're telling me that you're going to allow these kids to come over, these two teenagers, let alone just these two teenagers, to go and spend the night when the house is looking like that?
Now, see, to say that she's at fault for allowing those two teenagers to come stay the night with the house looking like that, that to me is very alarming. He should not be saying that, because we don't even know if Holly knew those two girls were coming. Holly could have already been unalived at this moment. We don't know if it was Tiffany or Jesse who invited the girls to stay. We know it was Jesse who picked them up. So we can't say that Holly knew that this house looked like this and she was totally fine with two children that were not their own coming to stay the night with it looking like that. That is irresponsible. It's irresponsible. And he did state all of this as fact.
Are you kidding me? You're kidding me, right? I ain't feeling that, y'all. I'm sorry. You're going to sit there and go, honey, kids.
I can understand that, B10, but the fact is that the chains and locks have been proven to have been bought the Friday before. All right, the next one was 128. I'm going to start at 127.
And all over this house. And they decided not to do that. They decided to ignore all that BS until the family saw, and they started making noise about it, rightfully so. And that's the only reason why OSBI is there. In fact, I'm wondering why FBI ain't there. Why isn't FBI showing up? Why isn't FBI involved? Bring them in. I don't even trust OSBI.
I agree, B. Tim.
No offense, but do you? Do you? Because I don't. Okay. Now, there's some other stuff I want to show you guys real quick before we go into this this other video. Again, don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. That'd be greatly appreciated. But also from Kaylee, all right, our reporter, boots on the ground out there for KFOR. All right. She's doing a fantastic job over there. And just slowly getting as much information as she can. Deleted the comments per a request from the OSBI. Oh, have mercy. Let's go. Let's take a look at this. Says I can explain the legal semantics about the investigations being separate, but can't discuss case per se. I just had to delete my Facebook post because OSBI called him complaining about it already. And I really said nothing about the case because I wasn't on the scene as I told you earlier. So don't know. It's just a mess. Now, in the response, it says, called your chief. I just like to know how a homicide investigation would, according to your Facebook comments, not have anything to do with the inside of the house. They said, I understand, and I'll explain that part to you. Then it says, victims, phones found inside. Do you all typically not search inside of search the inside of a home if bodies are found outside? And then they said, sounds good. I'd love to have a better understanding. I think we all would like to have a better understanding, baby.
Now, it's 50-50 on this for me, because right here on the message where he says, I can't explain the legal semantics about investigations being separate. I understand that, because what they're saying is they got there, they finally got the warrant because there was some overturned dirt that they found, that was suspicious. They got the warrant, they went on the property, they found the bodies, right? So that itself is a crime scene. That is that in itself of where the bodies were is an investigation on its own, right? So then they go into the house, right? And they see all this crazy shit in the house. But does it have anything to do with the victims outside? We don't know. But then it's like, okay, there could be child pee. There could be other victims. But that doesn't necessarily have to do with what happened outside, is what they're saying. Outside is an investigation, and inside is now an investigation. So it's two separate investigations. But I agree with him when he says we would all like to understand. Yeah, like it should all be one investigation, in my opinion, because how do we know that all that stuff wasn't used on the victims that were found outside and then possibly broadcasted? We don't know, right?
Then it says, Vic still is out here and they still have developing information.
Okay, there was another one. Let's see. 131.
Oklahoma, where you know what I mean? I don't know the song, but you know what I'm saying. Okay? All right. Paige Malone, thank you so much for the 2. I think the Jesse and his wife are guilty as, yeah. I agree, Paige. They both in on it. They both did that thing.
Now, see, you don't know that. You don't know that. Put in my opinion at the end of that. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of people that watch you. You got a lot of subscribers. You need to be very careful what you say.
I will say that. They did that thing. Okay?
I think, let's see.
They did that thing. Unless there's some other explanation that's pulled up or presented to us, I don't have. I'm kind of like, our kids are the ones that are being brought in and are the ones that keep disappearing. They're the ones that we keep losing because of snakes in the grass that know how to slither their way through laws, slither their ways and dodge certain things. There is a time there. This is a very.
Yeah, we just went over you, Grain. Good job, girl. Look at our hippie showing out. We went over it. You'll have to rewind my live, but we definitely shout out to Follow the Grain for bringing some common sense to the speculation.
Very, very. There is a huge, gigantic need for change now.
Absolutely.
More than ever. when
Yep.
it comes to this.
I agree.
This story, this tragedy, this case should all be a huge wake-up call on the things that are being written into law and what are these things that are being thrown out. Again, you got somebody out here that was constantly breaking laws, a repeat offender, a violent one to add on that too.
The justice system in Oklahoma definitely needs to be refined and reformed.
And when he came out, he still wasn't rehabilitated. He wasn't.
Mm-mm.
And then God knows how long he's been doing these terrible things to little ones. We don't know.
We don't know.
We
That's
don't know.
right.
But that house, I'll tell you that though, this house right here could be telling us a story. Many, many stories. So I'm hoping that OSBI, in fact, I hope FBI gets involved. I said it before, everybody, all the acronyms, okay? All of them, DEA, FBI, ATF, CIA, ABC, TMZ, all of them. Bring them all, okay?
Yes, Hunty. I can agree with that too. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I just wanted to go over those few things that I thought was a little irresponsible for him to say. Good morning to everybody that just came in. Yeah, that's all it was. I just wanted to make a few corrections there. Yeah, I think so too, Punky. Like, we don't even know if Holly was even able to go anywhere or leave on that weekend. You know what I'm saying? She could have already been unalived on Friday and we wouldn't know. Because supposedly, or on Saturday, we wouldn't know. Thank you, True Texan. Good morning, Heifer. Put your elbow. Go, George. Go, George. Twerk it. Twerk it. Twerk it. Yeah, baby. My sweet devilish man. No, I'm gonna go let the chickens out. Yeah, Green, that was my point. Yeah, we don't know. Of course, Lisbeth. No, I've been keeping the chickens put up until 11 because Ellie's sister said that she thinks those chickens are laying in my yard, right? And she was like, let them stay put up until 11ish and see if they lay in the coop. So I did that, and sure enough, yesterday I had an egg. So these little hoes have been out here laying eggs in my yard, and God knows if hopefully there's other predators that's gotten them, because Jesus, if not, they gonna end up stinking in a month or two. Woo! I agree, Tammy Lou. Like, the justice system failed big time. And I would say I'm pretty confident in saying that this traumatic situation, this mass murder, falls on the shoulders of law enforcement and the justice system in Oklahoma. Well, I don't know, Grain. I don't see that being too weird because, like I said, my best friend's daddy used to always come by and pick me up, and she only lived like 2 miles down the road, and they only lived a mile from each other. So to me, it's kind of normal because also, like, if my girlfriend would be staying the night, we'd be having pool days, summer fun. And then it was time for her to go home. My daddy would just run her on home. Like it was never anything weird. Yay, Rowena. Good. I'm not going to be on long. I'm actually getting off now. I just wanted to come on and do a quick live to address the few things that I seen on Pascal because I do love Pascal. I do. But sometimes even I'm guilty of it in this case. At the very beginning, I was like, when all that information came out, I was like, oh my God, Holly was part of this. She did this too. Oh my God, what if it was some sadistic type shit? You know what I'm saying? And I should have reeled myself in before I said those things out loud. And so it's all about accountability. It's all about correcting what we mess up on. He had a few questions. I had a few answers. That's all. All right, guys. So we gonna be ending it. I gotta go clean my house, and I got some videos I've been making that I'm gonna try to get out today. How about free the potheads? Free the potheads. You got people serving 10 years for a quarter of pot, and people serving 3 years for R. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. Same, Rowena. Same. But we don't even see, we flipped our shit over that, and we don't even know exactly what there was to that. Have a good day, Tammy. All right, guys. I hope y'all have a good Friday. Maybe I'll be back on later. I don't know. We'll just have to see. But I hope y'all have a good rest of your day and be safe. Make good choices if you can. And just be good to people. Just be a good person. All right. I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye.
Everyone likes me and thinks I'm great in my safe space. People don't judge me and haters don't hate in my safe space. If you do not like me, you are not allowed in my safe space. Look, you can see there's very select crowd in your safe space. For people that support me, rainbows all around me, there is no shade.